we're back again.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome
good
back.
to have you with us again.
We're so excited.
We're so excited. Grab your drink.
Grab your drink. Let me get it. I got my tea, baby. Actually, it's coffee. I don't drink tea.
Coffee.
Cheers.
Cheers. I drink coffee. I drink tea, but I need coffee.
It's coffee day. I'm going to tell you right now, here we're in California, Southern California, where we live, and it is gloomy outside. So it is a coffee day today. So
I'm sorry, we're Southern Californians. We're dramatic about anything that's not beautiful sunny weather.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It was a little sprinkle when I went to go pick up the grandkids, and I was like, oh, my God.
This is the worst.
Oh, this is the worst ever. And I'm like, really? Is it that serious? No, but I'm a Southern California girl, man.
Exactly. Don't get me wrong. I've lived in the snow. I know the snow is worse.
Yes.
But when you live in Southern California, you get used to certain weather. So when it drops below 65, I think I'm dying.
Girl, let me tell you. Everybody, because I'm born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri. So, and I've lived like in the Midwest, right? And so that's just how I grew up. However, I've been in California over half of my life at this point. So I consider myself a Californian. So when I go back home to visit, this most recent time I went back home to visit, it freaking snowed. It was nasty. I slipped. I fell on my ass. I ate shit. It was hilarious, but it did hurt a little. But the whole thing was, everybody was like, aren't you from here? And I'm like, bro, not anymore. Like,
live in California for like 3 months, especially Southern California.
Forget
You're
it.
acclimated already.
That's
You're done.
That's
You're
it.
done.
I don't want any other weather.
Exactly.
That's it. That is it. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not used to this. And then they were like, when's the last time you were in snow? And I'm like, probably 2008.
Right.
Like, it's been some time. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's just the weather. Earthquakes, we don't care. But weather will be a little
speak
dramatic.
for yourself. I'm a little dramatic with earthquakes, so I'm not going to lie. I'll take a tornado over an earthquake any day.
Oh,
I know.
Nope.
But look, hear me out. You have noticed that the tornado is coming. So you can go take cover. There's no notice when the ground just starts shaking.
Yeah, so once it starts shaking, you go. That's
oh
no, cover, bro.
No, I cry and I run for my life. I do what you're not supposed to do. Is exactly what I do.
To be fair, I've also, as a child, experienced an insanely large earthquake. It was in like the early 80s.
You were in that one.
Yeah, I was in that big one. It was like a 7-pointer or something.
No.
Yeah. So
no, thank you.
They don't faze me.
Yeah, for me they do. Luckily, because again, I've been here for so long now that it's not quite as bad. But I'll never forget. We'll get into the podcast in just a minute, but let me tell you the story.
For the next like little bit, we're gonna be a weather and earthquake podcast.
Yes.
Thank you.
Listen, this shit is hilarious, and my kids and my husband do not let me live it down. I had been here already for some years because all my kids, well, no, 2 were not born here, but the other 2 were. But I'd been here for some years, but I'm telling you, earthquakes, I don't know what it is. They scare the shit out of me. I'm afraid the ground's going to open up and like, that's it. Okay, no, here's the truth. Here we go. Growing up in Missouri, you got told that California's going to fall into the ocean from an earthquake. So that is in my head every time that we're going to just fall into the ocean one day.
It's the myth of the big one.
It's a myth, but that's what I grew up like knowing, and I'm like, oh my God, we're going to fall into the ocean and that's it. So we had this earthquake and we lived upstairs. We had this earthquake and I'm sorry, Mariah. I was like, oh my God, earthquake. And she was like, what do I do? And I jumped up out of the chair, pushed her to the side, and I ran out the door.
You said every man for himself to your children.
I know that's horrible parenting, guys. Okay, I know that, but I was so scared because I had never felt one that hard.
Yeah. And
I was so scared, and my husband was like, dude, you just left your kids for themselves. I was like, I'm sorry, guys, I don't know. So anyways, moral of the story, please don't do that to your kids. I'm sorry, Mariah. We've all been forgiven at this point. But yeah, they scare me.
And that's why we needed coffee today.
Yes. Yes.
Bringing it full circle.
Woo! Okay. Welcome to the podcast.
Yep. So today we are actually answering a question from one of our followers.
Yes. So we post on our social media. If you're not following our Instagram page, Market Moments Podcast, you should be, because we post all the time and ask for your guys' like, what do you want to hear about? What do you want to know about? So today we are doing this podcast specifically answering your question. So one of them, the more you give us questions, the more we're going to answer. So here is the question, you guys. So this is, I get approached by event coordinators that are eager for product to promote, and then they don't promote you. They don't even ask the guests to promote what they get. So, what that looks like, because it does happen. It does happen.
Well, and for those not in the know, what we're talking about is a lot of markets ask for vendors to donate an item to get raffled off to shoppers.
But also even like people will ask to do like giveaways with you, like on Instagram and stuff, or for you to sponsor events. Like that also is another big one that I keep seeing where it's like, give us your product as a giveaway at our event that we have coming up. Right. So so that's what this question pertains to. And so we're gonna spill the tea on it. We're gonna dish. We're gonna talk about it. So as a vendor point of view, like how do you feel when a host asks you that?
So when it's a lower cost event. So here in Southern California, I'd say your average price for a market is $150.
Right.
Those events, I think it's a little rude for them to be asking for raffle
Agreed.
items. Because you're making enough money that you should be able to pay for advertising your own.
Agreed.
When it's a cheaper event, we're talking the like $50, $60, $80 range even. That's where I'm more likely to feel okay with them asking for a raffle item because it's a type of promotion.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm good with that. I don't like when market coordinators try to get real specific about what you need to provide in the giveaway, because some of them do. They're like, it has to be at least $10 worth of merch, at least 15, at least 20.
Yeah.
You know, they put a lot of qualifications on it. So yeah, I don't like when they put a lot of qualifications on it. Like, you're coming to me asking me to help promote your event with my product, and in my mind that can be beneficial, right? Like, I can promote myself, you can promote the market with free giveaways. Cool. But once you start putting a lot of demands on it at that point, then just pay for advertising, bro.
Well, okay. So here we go from like a host point of view. Yes. You should be paying for advertising anyway. I'm sorry, but you should be. I don't care how cheap your market is or how expensive your market is. You should be paying for advertising. That is your responsibility as the host to do that. So that's my like little,
Yeah. Well, and I feel like what we're doing, I should better yet say, is supplementing advertising.
Yeah,
you should
agree.
be advertising.
Okay.
And using the raffle items is, I think, a good way for market coordinators to keep their prices low and supplement their advertising.
Yes.
However, if you're going to put demands on me, then you just need to pay more money on advertising, because I'm giving you free advertising with my product.
Right. True. I think I have like a whole, I don't know, I have like a whole different kind of perspective, I guess, on how it works. Because again, as a host, it's like, okay, I've done like the trial and error and like what I liked, what I didn't like, all that stuff. And so for me, I'll say like specifically when I ask for a raffle item, because my events are typically on the lower end. However, I do have some events that are on the higher end, and those events I don't ask for nothing. We're not doing raffles. We're not doing giveaways. We're not doing any of that stuff. If you're paying $150 to come to my market, we're not doing that.
Agreed.
There's no need to.
Agreed.
So I don't ask for anything on that end. But then when we have our regular like farmers markets, our like, our casual normal places, it is good to have incentives to have raffles. So here's how I work mine. You get a raffle ticket, the customers, you get a raffle ticket by supporting the small businesses. That's how you get it. You get it by going and shopping with these small businesses. Because the whole point of doing this is to get you to shop from local small entrepreneurs and for them to make some money. That's the whole point of this. And so you get a raffle ticket for that. And then I do it where you actually, I'm not going to give all my trade secrets away. So let me just back that up real quick. But what I do tell my vendors is, it's not mandatory, even at my lower price events. I don't make it mandatory for you to give a raffle prize. If you want to, awesome. But it is not mandatory, because the truth is you're still paying me. You're paying me to come to this venue. Now, holding the markets at $50, I'm not really making money, right? I'm making enough to advertise and provide a space for everybody, but I'm not getting rich off of this. So there's that part. But the raffle items, it's like, if you want to, you can, but I'm really specific with what I tell people. For me, I'm like, you can give me your business card with a dollar scratcher. You don't have to actually even give your product, right? It's about getting eyes on your business. So I don't have a limit on it, and I think is fair. I shouldn't tell you how much money you have to like how much your item needs. No, that's not fair.
Yeah.
I don't think anywhere. I don't
Well,
think
and
that's
you
fair.
let your vendors do coupons. There's a lot of markets that will not
Yes.
let you do coupons.
Yes.
They
Yes.
want actual product. Like they specifically say, you have to donate a product, not coupons, not
Which
your
I don't think
business
is
card.
fair.
I
I
don't
don't think
think
it's fair. Because again, the whole point of having these markets is so people get their eyes on these small businesses. And if you give a coupon for 50% off my shop, they're going to come shop with you.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. It's not about how much I can get from you to give away to people, at least for me anyway.
Yeah.
But I know that that is the case in some situations.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I think, you know, as hosts, you know, we talked about this a bazillion times, but it's like, make sure what you're doing, you're thinking about all that in it, right? So when you're setting your vendor prices, you want to consider how much money am I going to spend on advertising? How many things am I willing to buy myself to give away, right? And that's for me, I do a lot of stuff myself that I'll make to use as items.
Yes.
Because then it doesn't come off because how do I say this? Well, I'm just gonna say it.
Just say it, bruh.
Like for me, I'm all about the small businesses in the community and supporting them, and it's not about taking from them. And when you're asking for $15 raffle donation after you've paid me $80 to be here, I don't think that's fair.
Yeah. Even if I only paid you $50 to be there, but I just don't like that they put a qualifier on it.
Right.
Like you are asking me to help you out by providing something, so let me decide what my business can handle to give away. And I've actually had some event coordinators require two things: one for raffles and one for swag bags.
Oh no. I will say, okay, look, I said I know, oh no, but I'm like, when I first started,
But
when I first started, I would allow people if you would do like 10 totes, and I'm like, if you want to give like 10 keychains, 10 coupons, to like you can, and then a raffle item. But it was always never mandatory.
And not only that, you actually encouraged us to not put our product in the swag bag.
Yes.
You encouraged us to put business cards and coupons in the swag bag.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
You very much encourage, hey guys, don't just throw your product in there because it's going to get lost in the sea of product. Instead, give me a business card, give me a coupon, give me something that's going to let people know that you're here.
Because the thing is, most people aren't, when you're a guest and you're going to the events, you're not looking through the bag right then and there. You know, you might grab a few things here and there, but you're going to take it home, and that's when you're going to look and see what you got in there. So at that point, for me, again, I've always been big on making sure that the eyes go to the business because that's what it's all about, is that they're going to see your card and go on your Instagram or go on your website or whatever it is. And then they're going to be able to look and see, oh yeah, this is something I would want to use. Right. So, but I know a lot of people don't. I know a lot of people don't. And I think that, you know, on the second part of that question is like event hosts not promoting your stuff either.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and I get that it costs a lot of money to run an event. You know, you're looking at venue fees, you know,
insurance,
venues charge a lot of money for you to use their space.
Yes.
You know, and then you're paying for insurance, which is also insanely expensive.
Very expensive, especially here in California.
Exactly. You know, any giveaways you're doing, all the advertising, because if you're not advertising, how are you going to get shoppers?
You won't.
Exactly. So, and then I don't know all the costs because I don't run events exactly for this reason. It's just
it's just, well, because then you also have paying all the things that you have to pay, like the ads on the different sites, not just one. Flyering, you have the cost of like if you have employees there for you, you have the cost of the like I said, the things I typically make, all the things that we're going to give away, and so that cost adds up. The cost of like running like your website, running your docs, running your application, all that, everything has a cost. Nothing is free. You know, unfortunately, nothing is free. So,
well, and I know just venues can get pricey. This is just from like hosting private events, not even like giant markets. Some venues, they'll charge you a flat fee, but if you want to use electricity, if you want to be able to throw your trash away at their venue, all these other things, now these are extra fees on top of just renting the space. Exactly.
And I'll tell you that electricity and trash free is for real.
Yep.
I would be like, there's some venues where I'm like, nah, it's cool. Well, we don't need electricity and we're not using your trash. Because it literally, there's one venue that I'm not even kidding, that to use electricity was an additional $150 an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm like, No, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, no,
I can't
exactly.
do that. Like,
Yeah.
no, thank you.
Well, we had this problem like years ago. I was in a game group and we were trying to find venues to host our group at, and oh my god, some places charge you like $1,000 to be able to throw away trash.
Yep. It's insanity.
Yeah,
It's insanity. I understand. I get
I
it. I get it.
I
They
get
need
it
to, I get it.
because they need to recoup the cost
Right.
of them now needing trash picked more often, et cetera, et cetera. But again, these are just the costs that go into hosting events, and that's why sometimes they can be expensive.
Which is why when you're asking why is the vendor fee this amount? Well, this is why.
Yeah,
Right. And that's why it varies, right? So I'll have
yeah.
a market where I charge $35 because I'm able to work with people
Hmm.
versus a market where I have to charge $200
Hmm.
because it just depends on what I have to pay out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, hosting events is, man, we talked about it a little bit, but and we'll talk about it more and more. But yeah, it's not just like, okay, I'm gonna do this and go talk to this parking lot and like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't work that way.
You
There's
can't just show up
there's
and set up.
so much that goes into it that if you're
Mhm.
doing it properly and you're wanting to make this an actual business.
Yep.
So there's that piece. But I think the other thing too is I am huge on and I tell all of my vendors if you are donating your raffle, if you are donating to our raffles that we're going to do throughout the event, make sure that your information is on it. And that is how you promote it. And
Mhm.
I encourage people who have been to my events, I get on the microphone and I tell the shoppers that are there, hey, make sure you're following their social media pages, supporting them, tag them, whatever you buy from them today. Like that is how a host should be
Mhm.
doing it. Because again, yes, my market, I'm gonna grow, get the followers, all that good stuff. But it's really about using my platform to help the small
Uh-huh.
businesses.
And that oh, I also think as a vendor, you're not gonna run across all event organizers like Nikki. So you also have to
You
be
won't.
smart. You
Sorry.
have to be smart about it when the host asks for raffle item.
Right.
So make sure your business info is in there. Include a business card, or if you don't even want to print off some freaking paper and cut
Yeah.
it out that says, "Hey, please share your raffle prize on social media, and here's my handle." That type of deal. Make sure you're encouraging the customer to like come back to you. Put a coupon. Hey, thanks for winning this item in the raffle. Here's 10% off if you come
Right.
shop in my booth. Type of thing.
Super helpful. It's
Yeah,
super helpful.
yeah.
People think that it's kind of like, oh, do I really need to do that extra step? But you do. If you want to have repeat customers, you do.
Hmm.
You do.
Yep.
Offer 5% off, 10% off the next time they purchase from you,
Hmm.
whatever it is.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. What I've started doing too is like, so I have a loyalty card, and it's like buy 10 books, get the 11th free, and they get a stamp, right? So
beautiful.
I give that to everybody who buys the book from us. But what I also do is put it in the raffle bag, so that way they already know this is a promotion that we have at our store.
Right. And
So
so they can go with you no matter what market you go to.
exactly.
If you're at Best Buy, if you're at any of these other markets, I'm not going to say market names, so we'll just say any other markets. If you're at any market you go, the customer can follow you,
Mhm.
your business, wherever you go,
Yep.
which is the beauty. And that's why I'm so big on making sure that you're promoting yourself. You
Hmm.
need to make sure that the customers know who you are
Hmm.
because here's what's going to happen. If you come, say you're at Best Buy Market, you're giving me a raffle prize, you're not putting your information on it. Let's just, for lack of anything else, they win a cup from you. You make cups. You put a cup out there, no name, no nothing. They're going to tag Best Vibe in it,
Yeah.
and they're going to come back to my market thinking that that's where it came from when it didn't.
Yeah, or even more so jewelry. I see a lot of people who
Oh
sell
my
jewelry do
gosh,
that a lot. They
yes.
just put it in their those cute little satchel bags, and that's it.
Which
And
is
there's no
fantastic,
yeah,
but
but there's no branding.
put your
So
information.
and there's usually more than one jewelry vendor at any event. So
Yes.
the chances of them realizing, "Oh, this came from you specifically," if you don't include your business name, is so small.
Right?
You know?
Slim to
Yeah.
none. Slim
Mm.
to none,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah, so so as the vendor donating the goods, these are questions you can ask the person who's requesting it from you,
Yeah.
right? So I recently did a 10,000 follower giveaway. And I sent out a message I didn't send it to everybody. I didn't open it for everybody, but I sent out a message to some of my, vendors that I know, like, hey, I'm going to do this giveaway. Do you want to participate? This is what I'll do for you,
Yeah.
right? So specifically said, this is how it's going to go. I'm going to promote you. I'm going to put your picture. I'm going to tag you. You're going to be added. Like people are going to know who it's from,
Mhm.
right? they get extra entries for following you. So
Mhm.
then you get, and a message is coming in about the followers they were getting was amazing, which I was like, fantastic. That's
Yeah.
the whole point. But it's like, that's so you lay out exactly what you're going to do to help promote that product.
Yeah.
If I'm asking you for something, I need to be able to tell you how I'm actually going to promote you.
Yeah.
And I think there's no harm in it. If a vendor asks me, how are you going to help me?
Mhm.
You tell them.
Yeah. Well, and something I appreciate that I've noticed some of the better market coordinators do is they're getting a lot better about like transparency of like a lot of them will have like on their website, why are my vendor prices this? And they're like, this percentage goes to advertising, this percentage goes to the
Right.
venue, this percentage is going to this. So that way you understand that like they're not just trying to get rich off of your vendor fee. A lot of them they're doing it right. They're spending the money on advertising, they're spending the money on quality venues, they're spending the money on getting people to come out and shop with you,
Right.
you know? And I feel like as a vendor, you can tell the event coordinators who care and the ones who are just in it to make a buck.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
and,
Agreed.
and the ones who are just in it to make a buck, like I've said it before, I'll say it again, like just don't go back to them. Like it's not worth it. Even if you made a lot of money at their event, you're just gonna get taken advantage of eventually. You're
Well, you'll
just
get
gonna,
resentful too. I
yeah.
mean, I know for me anyway. Like I would go to these events, and I yes, I would make money, but I didn't like the way it was being served, right?
Mhm.
So if people are asking you to do that, there's no harm in asking the questions of like, how does this benefit me?
Yeah.
How does this benefit me in my business? What are you doing to help me in my business?
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with asking that, and you actually should be asking that
Okay, now we're back for real.
for really for
For
reals.
really for real.
Yes. So again, if people are approaching you asking for things, if you're out of market, they're doing raffles, they're asking you for donations,
Mhm.
just make sure on your point of view, if you're going to donate, make sure that you're putting your stuff, making sure people know who you are. You're the one that gave the product, where people can find you. And then if you feel like they're asking for too much, see if it's a requirement,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Because I'm very, very open with telling my vendors, like, this is not a requirement. You don't have to do this. If you want to, you can,
Yeah.
but it's not a
Well,
requirement.
and also I would then factor in to like, okay, so the vendor fee's not actually $80, it's $95 because you asked
Right.
me to donate a $15 product. So
Yes. Yeah.
is it worth now going to this smaller event, or should I just pay for the $150 event and they're not asking me for anything?
Correct.
You know?
Yeah. Those are things to look at for sure.
Exactly.
For sure. So, what are your guys' thoughts? You let us know.
Leave us a comment.
Leave us comments. Tell us your stories. Like,
Yeah.
hey, what happened to you? What good stories, bad stories, whatever it is.
Yep.
The only thing that we ask is don't put names. We really don't. We're not trying to call people out here,
Yeah.
right? We don't need to do any of that. We're not into that drama. But let us know your stories. Like, did this
Mhm.
happen to you? How
Yep.
did you handle it?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. We'll share your stories. We can share it anonymously too. So like
Yeah.
if you don't
Yeah.
want us to say your name, cool. Just let
Send
us
us a
know.
private message. We got you.
Yep.
We got
We
you.
got it.
We
Follow our
got you.
socials because we'll be leaving up little prompts like we did with this last one that got a reply. So,
I like to do prompts weekly, honestly, just so
mhm.
that way people like it just makes it better. So then they can say like, "Oh yeah, I want to know about this," or
Yep.
yeah. And then also again because she's vending at different venues, I'm hosting, so it's like we things pop up all the time that we're like, "Oh, we need
Mhm.
to talk about this one."
Exactly.
So
So,
yeah, so that's that for today.
yep.
Um, I hopefully this was helpful.
Yeah.
It's something that should be talked about, and just again, the biggest thing I can leave with you all is making sure that you are doing what you need to do to promote yourself
Exactly.
because you're the priority,
Yep.
not the market host. It's you and your business. So yeah,
There you go. Like, follow, subscribe, do all the
whoop whoop,
things.
do all the things.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.